Hey, good morning, everyone. Paul McMahon here with Forex Smart Trade, where we help people become financially independent by teaching them to trade with our proprietary indicators, and we're so confident in them, we let you trade company money. So let's get started. And I like to trade off of a trade routine. And this is it. So I start my day by reviewing yesterday's results. Since we didn't trade yesterday, we traded last week. Let's take a look at what we did last week. Last week we found four thick orange line trades, and all four of them closed. Thick orange line trade, we're looking for the scale number on the thick orange line to be either 0 or minus 100, or within 10 points of either. And then we look for confirmation from the majors and minors to either be overbought or oversold, depending on which condition we're taking a look at. Very, very highly accurate, almost 90% of the time, or actually over 90% of the time, this trade works. So when we see that signal, it's a very good trade to take. Then, before we start into today's activities, we want to take a quick look at what the news is. And we had a couple Australian bits of news. So we go to forexfactory.com. Forex Factory gives us is a feed on news that might impact currency pairs, and they break it down into three types: yellow, orange, and red. The red ones are identified as that they might move the market. As we are technical traders, we don't trade on fundamental news. When we see a news item that might impact a pair we're trading, we don't trade it. We just stay away from it. So looking today, Tuesday, April 7th, we have nothing that is a red signal that we need to be concerned about. So we're clear on that front. Now we will go through and take a look if we see a signal. And in this lesson, or in this session, there are two signals that we use during the introductory trial. One is the thick orange line trade, and the second is something called the 10-point trade. Thick orange line trade we want to take at the top of the hour when there's less than 10 minutes left in the hour. Since we were at the half hour, we've got 26 minutes remaining in the hour. We're going to go ahead and start looking for a 10-point trade. The reason we want to wait for the top of the hour on the thick orange line trade is right now, off of this composite chart, this is a 60-minute chart. We want to give the candles, we want to give the indicators a full 60 minutes of data to provide the signal. So on a 1 hour chart, we want to get as close to the end of the hour before we take the trade, so that the indicator is fully formed. With the 10-point trade, we start with the majors and minors, and what we're looking for, I've got three actually charts that have different pairs on them, so we have an opportunity to look through 18 different pairs till we find a trade, because sometimes the ones that I trade most are in the first one, second least are here, and the third least are here. If you follow my trades, for the most part, I'm just trading euro dollar and pound dollar. I like to stay with what I know, and as I continue to trade with a limited number of pairs, I get to just be more familiar with how the pair reacts to things. So I think that makes me a better trader. When you get to the point that you are trading a funded account, if they see you trading 30 pairs, you will get a smaller increase than if you're trading a half dozen or dozen pairs. Because when you 30 pairs, you're all over the place, and Kevin believes you haven't figured out what you're doing yet. So focus in, pick a few pairs that you like, and trade those pairs. Now, sometimes if you've only got a few minutes to trade in the morning before you go off to work, you'll look through all the pairs and find the one that has the signal. So we get that. Sometimes that happens. Our chart here isn't filling the window, so I'm just going to have it fill the window tile vertically so it fills fully. So I'm starting with the Euro USD. On the 10-point trade, we start with the majors and minors, and I want to see the lines either be overbought or oversold. If they're overbought, I want them both pointing down and double crossed. I don't have that here. Majors are pointing down, minors are pointing up, so I don't have agreement. Pound dollar, we're in the middle of the channel, and we're just a little bit past halfway, so I'm going to pass. Australian US dollar, it's overbought. It's kind of just entered the channel. The miners are a little bit past halfway, but they're starting to turn back up. So I'm not going to take this. If these guys were still going down, I might look to the next part of the signal to see if this trade was worthwhile. But looks like they're turning around here. Dollar Swiss franc, oversold. Miners are starting to go up. The slope isn't that steep. One of the things I like to take a look at, or that makes me feel better about the trade, is how steep this slope is. So not very steep here, and we don't have the miners in agreement. Dollar yen, we are overbought, but the majors are still going up, so we don't have agreement. And US Canadian, oversold. I like this. This is nice and steep on the majors, but the minors aren't. The minors are going the other way still, so we don't have agreement here. So let's go to our next pair. Again, to get the chart to fit the screen. Normally I have this chart on my other screen, which is a little smaller. So we'll get it to size. Euro pound, overbought, but going up. Australian pound yen, overbought, not going down yet, going up. Euro CAD, overbought, not going up. Now, I don't like, I'm kind of a strict, I strictly adhere to the indicator. Now, when it's overbought, that doesn't mean you can't make some money, because you can see it was overbought. It was overbought, well, here, and there was still some up movement to it. So there was another. You could have made 27 pips even when it was overbought. But why take the chance? If I were able to catch it here when we got the double cross and ride it up, I would have got I would have made more points, and I would have been more comfortable that we're going to go through the channel and there's that opportunity for the trade. Australian New Zealand dollar overbought, pointing up. Australian dollar, US dollar oversold, pointing down. Now, miners are going up, but that doesn't help us. And the euro, Australian dollar, we're not quite through the channel yet. So we're more than halfway. So nothing there. So we're 0 for 12. Australian Canadian dollar. We're in the middle of the channel, and it looks like they're changing directions. Yen, Swiss franc yen, overbought. I've got the minors pointing down, excuse me, the majors pointing down, but the minors aren't. So nothing there. The euro yen, overbought, minors pointing down, excuse me, majors pointing down, minors still going up. So nothing there. Oversold and pointing down. They had started to go up and had changed midway, so nothing there. New Zealand, Swiss franc, oversold, but the majors aren't pointing up yet. And Canadian, Swiss franc, mixed signal. Majors haven't quite gotten to oversold yet. Miners are going up. So nothing good on 18 charts for the 10-point trade. Let's go back and take a look and see if we've got a thick orange line trade. It's still a little early to take the thick orange line trade. So on the thick orange line trade, I am starting with the TNTs. The TNTs, and we are going to look at this thick orange line and concentrate on him. On this trade, this is our simplest trade to kind of figure out. Doesn't require much in terms of interpretation. So that's why we show it to you first. This line has a scale to it. The scale goes from minus 100 when the line is as low as it can get to 0 when it's as high as it can get. So when it gets to minus 100, based on how we've scaled this number, and I don't know how he's figured out the calculation to make it, but it is telling us we don't believe there's any more down in the move. Likewise, when it gets up to 0, it is telling us that we don't believe there's any more up in the move. So when there's no more up in the move, that's a sell signal. When there's no more down in the move, there's a buy signal. But to get to a point where we have a high consistency or accuracy in our trading, we don't like to just rely on one signal. And so what we want to do is we want something that confirms that, yeah, we're indeed, when it's at minus 100, it's at the bottom about to turn up, and when it's at 0, it's at the top and about to turn down. So we get that by looking at where the major and minor lines are. And if this is minus 100, I want all of these lines touching or below the red. So I'm getting two different signals that are calculated different ways, telling me, yeah, the market's about to turn. So let's start going through it and seeing if we see any signals. So minus 70 isn't 0 or minus 100 or isn't close to it. And when I mean close, it can be within 10 points of it. So I can go from 0 to minus 10 or minus 90 to minus 100. So don't have that here. Minus 100, I have it. So when I go to look to my majors and minors, they're still in the middle of the channel. they're not oversold. So I've got part one of the signal, but not part two. So I'm going to move on. Minus 76, no. Minus 6. Minus 6 is within 10 of 0. I've got part one of the signal. When I go down and look at my majors and minors, I would want all the lines to be touching or above the blue. I don't have that. They're still oversold. So that's telling me it's about to go up. And we've got mixed signals even here because the minors are pointing down, the majors are pointing up. So here's a scenario where you can see that the minors got faked out. They started to think that the market was going up. Majors didn't bring it up, so they're coming back down to meet the majors. And subsequently, there hasn't been much movement here. Dollar yen minus 33 isn't close enough. U.S. Canadian minus 80 isn't close enough to minus 100, so got nothing there. Euro pound minus 6, that's within 10. I have all four lines above, so that is a prospect. And that is a prospect for a sell. I'm going to write them down here. It's still a little too early to take it. So euro, pound, sell. And again, we've simplified this trade. If we're trading off of a 60-minute chart, this is always good for 5 pips. So let's see where we're at in another 10 minutes. But let's keep going through, see if we have any more prospects here. AUD yen minus 45 is not close enough. Euro CAD minus 31, not close enough. Australian New Zealand dollar minus 63, not close enough. New Zealand USD minus 82, not close enough. Euro Australian dollar minus 27, not close enough. So currency trading, you don't need to sit in front of your computer all day long to do this. I usually trade maybe a couple hours a day, but really, if you come on as a beginner, we want you to trade off the 60-minute chart because you're going to be able to get immediate trades and see success on a 5 or 10 or 15 pip trade. But if you come on right before the top of the hour, you can quickly scan a bunch of charts and see a trade setup. And really, you only need 2 or 3 trade setups a day to be able to make money at this. And then if you're not already, you should be following the live trades of the other traders. You know, we do the AIT every evening, and we do the LIT, and we do the Sunday afternoon trade. So there's lots of analysis and signals given out almost every day. Minus 75 AutoCAD, not close enough. Minus Swiss franc yen, minus 84. Euro yen, minus 60, not close enough. Euro or pound euro, Australian dollar, minus 80, not close enough. New Zealand Swiss franc, minus 54, not close enough. Canadian Swiss franc, minus 21, not close enough. So from all these charts, we only saw one potential signal, and that was on the euro pound. We are going to, we've got less than 10 minutes left, but I am going to I think we should wait until it gets just a little bit closer to the top of the hour to take it. But let's go ahead and set up our. We can set up the buy. I'm just taking another quick look to see if we see anything else. Here we've got the 3 points on the USD CAD for the 10-point trade. Everybody's above, pointed down, double crossed. When I look up to the TNTs, I want to count how many are going in the right direction. Thick orange is going down, that's a point. Thin orange is going up, so I get nothing for that. Thick blue is going up, I get a point for that. Thin blue is going down, I don't get a point for that, so I may have 2 out of 4. So I don't have enough here. Oh, wait a second here. Why didn't we see this before? Minus 100, and we've got all 4 below. Minus 100, we've got all 4 below, so this is a buy, USD Canadian. USD Canadian, it's a buy. This is a thick orange line trade. Minus 100, all 4 lines are below. So let's go and get our, start setting up our trade. So I bring up my CoinX MetaTrader 4. I want to open the charts that I want to trade. To open a chart, I'm going to go to File, New Chart, and then I'm going to look for the 2 symbols. So one is USD Canadian, which is right here. Let me get rid of these. I don't like the default, so I've created templates. So if I right-click Template, I'm going to bring up a template, and I like to arrange the templates in different colors. So I'm going to make this guy blue. That way I don't make a mistake when I'm trading. So there's the USD Canadian, and then I'll open up the other chart, which was Euro Pound. So again, File, New Chart. I look through the list here. He's not there. I go through the next group. Euro Pound. Oops, there he was. Euro Pound is right here. And I don't like this background, so I'm going to change the template. And then I'm just going to change the color because I don't like to get confused. Sometimes I go too fast. All right, and I'm going to have it so I can see the 2 charts. Clicking this allows me to see the 2 charts. So USD Canadian was a bot. I'm going to highlight the chart, click New Order. So again, going through my trade routine. On this trade, we don't need to do any support resistance. We don't need to do this because it's such a simple trade. I do want to verify the lot size and symbol, and then I want to put my take profit and hard stop in here. This isn't a trade we would hedge. So in terms of how big of a trade I should take, based on our risk guidelines, this is a demo account. It's got $8,500 in it. I can take a maximum trade. They call it 1%, but technically isn't 1%. I'm going to move this decimal place over 4 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can take a trade at 0.85 and be okay, and I can have 2 open trades for 0.85. So I'm going to change my volume to 0.85, and this was a buy. I'm going to click buy. Okay. Once the trade is recorded, it shows below the chart I click anywhere along that line, right click, go to modify, and I can add in my my stop loss and take profit. On this trade, it's good for 5 pips. This part of the program will do the math for me. So if I put 5 in here to tell it 5 pips, it's asking for the data in points. To convert pips to points, I just add a 0. If I click the little blue copy as button, it does the math and puts it in down here for me. And for now, as a new trader, we're going to have you use 4 times whatever your take profit is for your stop loss. So my stop loss is going to be 200, which is 20 pips, which is 4 times the 5 pips. I click the copy as. Now, on the, and it puts the number in here for me. On these little small trades, I like to make sure I get exactly the 5 pips. So I'm going to just check the addition. So I'm at 40.11. I took a buy, so I'm going to go to 40.16. And that is good. I'm going to go ahead and take that. I click modify, and we're good there. Let's go ahead and take our euro pound trade. I highlight the chart, and I click new order. I've got my symbol is correct, my pair, my volume 0.85, which is allowable. I am going to click sell. Okay. Right click, go to modify. It remembers what I did last time, the 50 and 200. So I'm going to click copy, copy. When I want to check my math, I got in at 88.48. So I want to go to 88.43. 88.43. So I'm going to change that 437. Okay. And I can see here my my take profit, I can see my take profit, my stop loss here. So both trades are in, and I'm going to expect this to change as soon as the top of the hour comes hits us, and we are 2 minutes away from the top of the hour. Now, some traders like to wait till the actual top of the hour, and they want to see this number jump by 10. So we'll see how it jumps in 2 minutes. They don't rely on the secondary indicator to be the signal. They'll just look at the thick orange line number, and they want to see this jump by 10 and take the trade. I like the confirmation with the majors and minors, and have had very good success with it. So I don't quite wait till the top of the hour. And if you do wait till the top of the hour, you can really only take 1 trade because you run out of time. And then euro pound, we're still at 0. We're still oversold. We've got another 51 seconds. So let's see what happens at the top of the hour and see if we get our little bit of jump. Two, one, blast off, boom, it bumped minus 11 on the euro yen, so that was a good trade. And here it bumped almost 30 to minus 68. Let's see if they've closed. Yeah, so one is already closed. US Canadian right here, and this guy will close shortly. All right, thanks for joining us. Any questions? All right, if you have any questions, reach out to me and I will get back to you. Thanks for joining us. See you next week.